Denis on VL Speaks here with you. This is episode 40, and I am dedicating this to Earth Month. Yes, I do it every year, and really, we should be doing it all the time. We should be devoting ourselves to Earth Month every day on some level. And I wasn't sure if I was going to do it this month, but I spent about 9 to 10 days sick. I was down. You might hear a little bit of nasal congestion. That's a remnant of the flu, but also because of the allergies. When I was sick, the first 3 days, those first 3 days, there's like fever, you're achy, you're like, oh, can you sleep? I don't sleep when I'm sick. For the first 3 days, all I was thinking about was, how does the planet feel with everything that's going on? I mean, it's retaliating, right? Nature is retaliating, and it is giving a response to all of the things that it does not like that are disruptive. And it's creating an upheaval in people's lives, which is sad. However, there are things that we can do about it, even if we don't think that we can. We can. So I was thinking about, like, my goodness, what's it like for all these fires? Right? The floods. Of course, the humans that are being affected, and also the blameless creatures, right, that are also here conspiring with the planet to keep things going naturally and in balance. This is what I'm thinking about when I'm sick. So I'm like, okay, I am a very small part of this macrocosm here on this planet. I don't feel well. I know a lot of the things that I can do to make myself better. And funnily enough, those things all rely on Mother Nature, right? All the herbs and the supplements that I take, they're all based on nature's bounty. And I thought, so geez, I can rely on that. However, what is the planet and all of its little creatures doing to they're all continually trying to conspire in our favor, and of course in their own favor as well, to stay balanced, to stay healthy. And yet humans, what are we doing? Imagine if all of humanity, right, was focused more on well-being. And I mean like physical well-being, your mental, your emotional, of course, the work that you're doing, your financial situation. But if we were really thinking about wellness and being healthy and resilient, all of that lends to being happier, right? Imagine if we only even did 10%, like if every single person did 10% to help us along this process. Just a little bit, just 10%. So what would that 10% look like in your everyday life? If we were all trying to make a difference, we were all trying to conspire to make this just a little bit better, instead of just focusing on our measly egos. I'm going to do a little sidebar on ego, because egos, when they're not in check, can create havoc in really bad ways, because havoc is usually not a good thing, right? If we were living in a healthy space within our own bodies and in our own minds, our egos could be used to propel positive action and positive change and restoring balance. If our minds were working in a healthy manner, right? If the conscious and the subconscious and the ego and that higher mind that we all possess, it's in there, it's whether or not we choose to connect to it. If we're all functioning from that space, right? And we devoted 10% of this balanced approach to living in this world, what would that look like? And where do we start? We start with our daily habits, right? One, what do we buy? It's a big deal because this world, as we can see here now with what's going on with the tariffs and what's going to be spent on that, who's going to absorb that cost, it's about buying, isn't it? I hate I hate to think that it all comes down to the money situation. But hey, if you got money and you want to hold on to it and you want to use it wisely, then start there because we're all there, right? We want to eat healthy food, we got to have money. You want to buy herbs and supplements to keep yourself healthy, you got to have money. You want electricity, which is something that I'm going to hit on, you need money. If you want to get solar panels so that you can be off the grid, you need money. So what are you buying? How are you spending your money? Because this is a direct correlation to your physical health and the health of the planet and the communities that we live in. So what are you buying? How are you spending your money? Are you buying GAC? Are you buying stuff that you don't need? I talk about this during the holidays, but it makes a difference because I don't know about you. I mean, I'm on Instagram, obviously, and YouTube, but Instagram just got like so many ads with so much junk. Junk. There's a lot of junk. There's some good stuff. There's a lot of junk. So what are you buying? What is it made of? Where was it created? Where was it produced? Who made it? You have to ask yourself these questions, right? Are you buying stuff that is high petroleum based product, plastics, even the clothing that you're wearing? What's it made of? Do you actually need it? These are things that I'm reiterating. I've talked about in other episodes, but it really comes down to this. And it's Earth Month. It's Earth time all the time because we live on the planet, right? And I'm always like, what the actual is going on here? That's my new thing now. What the actual is happening? What are we doing? So what are you buying? What is it made of? Where's it coming from? Who made it? Do you really need it? Next thing is, what are you eating? How is it packaged? Where did it come from? Where was it grown? Considering what's happening, I mean, and we should be, as far as like fresh food goes, we should be buying locally. Take the tariffs out of it, take other countries out of it. We should be buying locally because it has more nutrients. Hopefully, if it's being grown in really good soil where people care about the soil and how it's being treated and whether or not the microorganisms in that soil are alive and furtive and active and doing their wonderful jobs that they love to do, it's better to eat local. Food loses its nutritional value in transport, especially when it's coming from faraway places. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love exotic fruits too, but do I have to eat them? I don't live in those climates, right? What can I eat that's here that's specific to the season and specific to the region that we live in? That makes a difference. I know it's a global economy. I know things have changed, but we have to be smart. We have to be more than smart. We have to be wise and practice discernment, which means that you use that wisdom, that knowledge. Hopefully, once you have knowledge and you apply it, it becomes wisdom. And then when you're wise, you know how to use that wisdom and where it needs to be applied. That is something that we are all responsible for as human beings to grow up. So here we are in the world, and this is what is happening, and we got to grow up. And what are you feeding into? Are you feeding into your impulses? Is your ego driving this vehicle here, this body? Or is the higher mind working here? The higher intellect? Because honestly, we don't have a choice. All of these are questions that we can ask ourselves because that's the kind of world that we're living in. Right? And also, our diets make a difference as well. Right? Not just about where the food is grown, but how much animal products we use also makes a difference. Don't get me wrong, every once in a while, I like to bite into a really good, free range, organic, homegrown, grass fed burger every once in a blue. I do. My body craves it. And then I go and I try to find the best product I can possibly get. I'm not saying you have to be vegan. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is that we do have to be mindful about all of the choices that we make. And you might as well start with your wallet and your bank account because that's where we all feel it. And that's where we're all feeling it right now. This is it. This is brass tacks. This is where we're at. So moving forward, our other habits. Electricity. Have you noticed that your electrical bills are going through the roof? I always think about how many electrical devices are plugged in and how many of them stay on. That's something that I'm always looking at. Okay. How many of them are on and how much time are they being used? And it's going to reflect directly in your bill. I'm not even big, like, I can't believe that I'm talking about money so much, but it's important and you have control over how you spend it. So how much electricity are you using? How many electrical devices do you have plugged in all the time, aside from your fridge, which has to be plugged in, right? Because of your food. And how many fridges do you have? I knew somebody once who lived alone, no one else, in a townhouse, had 2 fridges. Why? One was for booze. No kidding. Seriously. Outside. And it was always fully stocked. Incredible. And was hardly ever home. That was another thing. This person traveled a lot for work. Now, does that sound judgy? Maybe. Is it a judgment call? Yeah, because I'm like, you're not even home. Why would you do that? But some people do that. All right. So that's another thing. Electricity, water usage. How much water do we use? Because as we know, water is a commodity. Okay. And we're going to need clean water. Think about it. Clean water. Water that you can bathe and drink and cook with. So how much water are you using? And then I'd like to ask you another question. How much time do you spend in nature? Because I think that when you do spend time in nature, it makes you aware of how insignificant you are and how marvelous it is to be part of this tapestry. And that this planet and all of its beautiful creatures do not need us to survive. We need the planet. We need the worms. We need the bees and the birds and the butterflies and all of the other creatures that are within a beautiful ecosystem all around the world. There are all these beautiful microsystems that exist perfectly in harmony. They have their way of balancing things out. It's the humans that disrupt nature's course. So is this a lot to think about? Yeah. But you know what? You have to, because we live here. This is all we've got. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful planet. Why aren't we doing more to conserve? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it while everybody is not just like, what the actual? So let's break down homework. So I wanted to make this a short one just because there's so much and I'm a little riled up. Conservation is number 1. Conserve. Conserve the resources that you have. Think before you make your purchases. Buy smart. Buy less. Consume less. Reduce waste and usage, right? Reuse, recycle. I went to the dentist the other day and he told me, I know here this town does not do any recycling. I said, so does that mean that you should not do your part? Because I'm going to keep doing my part because that's my part, right? And minimum 10%, minimum. Alrighty? Get outside. Be reminded of what it is that you are here living in, that you have. Listen, we don't have clean air, you die. We don't have clean food, you're sick. This is it. In the States, people get very comfortable, but there are people within this country that don't have food to eat, that don't have good food to eat. The food that they're eating in the market is not even like real food. It's fortified, but it's not like real food. You know what I mean? Packaging. Less to zero plastic packaging. It is super challenging, but we got to do it. When I see things that, come in the mail and it's wrapped in plastic, I'm just like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be. So in shopping, think about the things that you use every day. What you put on your skin, what you put on your hair, what you use to clean your body, what you use to clean your home. Think about all of those things. I mean, I started using eco-friendly products back in the early 90s when I was living in California the first time. And then I started to get really into making sure that I could use things that weren't even made by anyone else, right? Like olive oil. Love it as a moisturizer. Been using it forever. But think about the things that you can get, that you can use, that have as little gack in them as possible. Keep it as clean as possible and as close to its natural source as possible. Go to consignment shops. You may not want to get something used, but there's some nice stuff. That's where I go shopping now. And make the things that you have last longer. It's a very old school thing. I mean, way back when, people bought less, but they bought very good product and things were made to last. Things were made to last because there weren't a lot of resources. Not like there are now, but what is the benefit of it if we're just polluting the planet and filling your closet with garbage? And just because it costs a lot of money doesn't mean that it's not garbage. So just keep that in mind. All right? So that's what I have to say about Earth Month. This is how we can take control and we can contribute to the solution and help the planet continually heal itself and come into balance, and also continually healing ourselves and having a healthier lifestyle. All right. That's my spiel for episode 40. Please feel free to join the conversation and please be respectful if you're leaving a comment. If your comment does not add value, why bother? Go to another forum. Do something somewhere else. Okay? All righty. Well, I hope that you're feeling well and I hope that you're enjoying this spring. Yeah, it feels finally like it's here. Take good care of yourself.